Okay, it's me, Matt. I'm here in Vegas, always in Vegas, stuck in Vegas. It's another installment on reviews of all the books we publish here at Teela Books. Again, like I've said before, most of our books are about gambling and in Vegas in general. And this is no different. I'm going to be doing two books today by two different authors on the subject of harness racing and betting on harness racing, in particular handicapping them so you can make some good bets. The first book is a pretty good seller, has been for quite some time. It's by Doug Masters. It's called The Path to Harness Racing, Handicapping Profits, subtitle One Man's Journey. Yeah, this is a good book. It's not for a beginner. So if you're new to harness racing, even once you learn the terminology, it may be a little tough going because Masters assumes that you know something, that you've been to the track, you bet some, you handicapped some horses, some races, and you know a little bit about harness racing. So in that way, it's probably more of an intermediate book. But it is a really good book. So once you get your harness legs steady and you can your way around harness racing, it's a real good book to read, I think. He starts off, he talks about all the handicapping factors, and he talks about all aspects of the racing game, driver strategies, the different types of tracks, handicapping winter races. There's a lot to the sport of harness racing, and he gets into some of the meat of the sport, the handicapping from a handicapping angle. This is all about handicapping, and then towards the end he gives his method over a general view of his method of handicapping, which mostly has to do with class, which is a little different than most people take a look at with harness racing. So it comes well recommended. It's been a good seller for a long time. The other book is probably good for beginners or people who just don't have time to do much handicapping, and that's by Ken Osterman, the guy who loves angles and systems. He loves to come up with little rules and to make profits without really doing a whole lot of handicapping. You learn the rules and then you apply them. And this was 14 easy to understand harness racing betting angles. And there's the book right there. See if I can get it in the system, into the camera. Yeah, and this is a pretty good book. It's got 14 angles. 3 of them originally appeared, I think 3 of them did, in a previous book he wrote, a bestseller, about 19 valuable horse racing systems. In that book he had a few quarter horse, a few harness. I think he had 3 or 4 harness. They were all in this book, and some quarter horse. But this book has a lot of new stuff that he's never put in print before. Most of it is new stuff he's never put in print before. And he's got what he calls spot plays, where you learn the rules, and there's specific type of situational bets, where they're bets that you would use on a particular horse in a particular situation, or maybe it's just a particular type of race, like a maiden or something like that. But those are the spot play angles. Then he has several angles. They're not really angles, more like systems or methods you can apply to more races on a given card. And one is an elimination method, which I find to be pretty good. And then he's got quick rating method and the power rating method, my personal favorite. And I actually use that a lot when I go out on night racing and there's just not enough thoroughbred night tracks, and I just go to the harness racing. I usually use that power rating method quite a bit. Works well for me. Anyway, if you're new to harness racing, yeah, you can just learn. You might have to learn how to read the past performances in a program, but after that, yeah, you can just learn these systems fairly quickly, and you'll be up and running, and you have a chance at doing fairly well at a track. You have to learn to manage your money, but yeah, you could do well. And over time, you can upgrade your knowledge and read master's books. I think that's also a good book. A little bit different audience though. Anyway, I'll have all the links on how you can find both of these books in the in the description below. And yeah, I appreciate it if you give the books a look. If you find something you want, you can buy it digital. It's cheaper in digital formats, but buy the paperback too. Have it for the rest of your life. And that's enough for me right now. I'm out of here. Thanks for listening.